What's going on, Muscle Monsters? Alain Gonzalez here, and in this video I want to talk about the difference between being absolutely shredded and just lean. As most of you guys know, I try to maintain a lean physique year round. The reason is very simple. I'm at a point in my physique where I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at. On top of that, I've been training for so long that the gains have slowed down to such a rate that I don't mind the slow progress of recompositioning, because after all, the gains will come very slowly either way. Being shredded versus being lean. All right, when you're shredded, there's no better feeling than peeling your shirt off. You look absolutely amazing when you got your shirt off and you're absolutely shredded. And when we talk about shredded versus lean, we're really just talking about body fat percentages. What I would say could be classified as shredded is typically 9% body fat or lower. And what's lean is typically 10 to 12% body fat. So when you're 9% body fat or lower, again, you look absolutely amazing when you've got your shirt off. Another thing is that because you're so lean and your muscles are so defined, right, you start to look bigger. So even though you may weigh less in pictures and even in person, especially when you're getting a pump in the gym, you're going to look way bigger, okay? I don't know if you've ever seen these guys in the gym where they're really skinny, but they're so shredded that it almost gives them an appearance of having size. And especially when you have a nice foundation and you're shredded, you're gonna look way bigger than you will when you're 10 pounds heavier and are carrying more body fat. Now, here's where the mind tricks, or the mind starts playing tricks on you. It's when you're wearing clothing. And this is specifically for guys who are natural. If you're on steroids, things of that nature, right, this doesn't apply to you. But if you're a natural guy, then you know that when you're absolutely shredded, you look tiny in your clothes. And that can really fuck with you, especially if you live somewhere where, you know, you're not rocking tank tops every day. You're going to start feeling, you know, like you're small, or like you've gotten smaller. And the only time you're really gonna feel jacked and powerful like we like to feel sometimes is when we're shirtless at the beach, at the pool, or getting a pump at the gym. Outside of that, you're going out with your lady or going to hang out with your buddies and you're wearing regular clothes, you're not really gonna look that impressive. Aside from maybe being extravascular, you're not going to really look like you even lift. At least that was the case for me. When you're lean, okay, 10% to 12%-ish, you're still gonna look pretty good shirtless. Obviously not as good as you will when you're absolutely shredded, but you're still gonna look good. You should still have visible abs when you're 10 to 12%. Also, because you're allowing yourself to eat a bit more and you're a bit fuller, you're still gonna look pretty decent in your clothing. You're not going to get that "do you even lift" appearance when you're wearing regular clothes, especially if you've got a solid foundation of muscle mass. The next thing is that when you're absolutely shredded, usually you're going to feel much weaker in the gym. Not just because your body weight is much lower, and a smaller body is not going to be as strong as a bigger body, right? But also because your calories are so much lower, right? Obviously, you're going to have to decrease your calories enough to get to that low percentage, right? And thus, you're not gonna have the energy available to push it hard in the gym like you used to. When you're 10 to 12%, at least here, okay, in most cases, you'll be able to sustain your strength, right? You'll still be able to eat enough carbs and enough total calories to have good workouts in the gym. The next thing about being absolutely shredded versus being lean is that when you're absolutely shredded, you have to be very calculated with your calories. Because you don't have many calories to work with in your diet, you're going to have to be a lot more restrictive even if you follow a flexible diet, because you don't want to use up all your carbs on one Pop-Tart, right? And if your carbs are relatively low, you're not going to have enough wiggle room to kind of enjoy the foods that you like. When you're lean, again, you're going to be able to stay in that 10 to 12% body fat range while still having enough calories to sustain a flexible diet that allows you to eat the foods that you enjoy. Another thing about being shredded versus being lean is that when you're shredded, right, unless you want to give up all of your calories or all of your carbs, you're going to have to continue to do some form of cardio. Chances are you're going to have to do some cardio to get you there, and you're going to have to do some cardio to keep you there. And this, again, plays a huge role in your training, right? Because you're already putting enough stress on your body from the heavy weight training. Now you're doing all this extra cardio and you're restricting yourself in terms of food. Okay, so this could get pretty much unbearable, all right? Especially for long term. When you're 10 to 12% body fat, pretty lean, right? But not absolutely shredded, you can get by with little or no cardio, believe it or not. The only form of cardio that I do right now is I'll occasionally take walks out by the lake. Okay, so I don't go running, I don't have a strict regimen. I basically just make sure I'm active by going out for a few walks a week. Ultimately, all right, being shredded is awesome, but it's not sustainable. Being lean is also pretty damn awesome, but it is sustainable. So if you are debating, number one, whether you are lean or whether you're shredded, this should answer the question. But if you're debating whether you should get shredded and stay shredded, the truth is that the only time you should get shredded is if you have a photo shoot coming up, a special event, or you're competing. Other than that, there's no reason to go beyond just being lean and even staying lean. Getting lean and then reversing up to bulk is a good strategy, or getting lean to get into a physique that you're comfortable with and then recomping is also a good strategy. But getting shredded is not really necessary unless, again, you're competing, you have a photo shoot, or some kind of an event that requires you to be at your peak. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. Just a quick video on my experience with being absolutely shredded versus just being lean. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions regarding this, leave them in the comment section below. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.